I actually think that the tape did not catch that because it was still counting down. So let's run it back and pretend like we didn't do that.
We're live.
Welcome to the Lost Together podcast. I'm Joe, and this is still my effort to convince Morgan that Lost is one of the greatest television shows ever written, produced, acted in, directed, starring a much larger cast of characters than the beginning of the TV show, and, changes happening all over the place. And kind of wanted to just kick off today. First of all, we're going to go over 2 episodes. We're going to go over Fire and Water and The Long Con. But we wanted to explain going, considerably past when we normally post a video, which is once a week. And it's a couple of things. If you can't tell from looking behind us, the couch that we were sitting on is no longer brown because we bought a new couch.
It's a beautiful, soft, plush, gray couch.
And the walls are now green behind the basketball. So we had some work done around the house, which is one of the main reasons, kind of down. This is where we shoot, in our living room. And so because the studio was in disarray, that delayed us, for a little while. And then it's just been, I am a project manager by trade. And so I had a certification test, and it's my second professional certification, and I passed it. And so, but it was a lot of work and studying, and just the stress of it basically kept me really from wanting to sit down and do a podcast.
Also, it's, January, and we're at the foothills of the Smoky Mountains, and since December 23rd, I think, was when the kids got out for
No, it was
Christmas
before
break.
that. It was before that.
Was it the 21st?
It was a week before that.
Yeah. So basically, in the last
16th
calendar month, our 3 kids have gone to school a total of 2 or 3 days.
So today's episode is Fire and Water, but snow and ice is what we're mostly concerned with.
Oh my God.
Where we live, the government essentially does not remove snow. So if you live in a place where
They do on the main roads, but it's the back roads that'll get you jacked up going up the mountain and stuff.
The place we live is 80% back roads. There's 2 or 3 very big main roads in town, and then that's where most people are traveling on those. And then the back roads, though, is how people get anywhere here. Mm-hmm. So, for example, to get to my office is entirely back roads. Mm-hmm. It's 100% back roads.
Long back road.
Yeah. A couple, but either way, the problem with back roads is they're shaded. So whenever the snow and ice gets on them, it takes forever to melt. So anyway, it's been a lot.
Yeah, sorry.
And then I will make a small confession. I'm not going to divulge entirely the confession. But we did have a day that was like a me and Morgan day where we didn't have the kids, and we may have watched a couple of episodes. And so what we're going to do is, to be transparent, we're not going to have Morgan predict episodes that she has already seen. So
that's false and yucky, and I'm not here to lie to you people.
We really don't get a lot of days like that where we can just sit around and veg. And I mean, as you know, we're not even covering the episode today, which is my episode. We will get to that, but I just want to be transparent because you guys are awesome, so don't want to lie about it. So we're not going to have Morgan predict ahead to episodes, which she already knows what happens. And we just want.
And I have been dying to watch some more, and we stopped. A hard stop. We have had opportunities.
Yes, we have.
To continue the story, and we haven't, so that we can record, because I want to be genuine in my retelling, and you guys already know that I've got the shittiest memory of all time, and so the further we get away from the episode I'm supposed to be talking about, I hardly know what's going on anymore. But I got the gist.
So that's where we're at.
That's where we're at.
So today, we will begin by talking about Fire and Water, which is the 12th episode of the second season of Lost, 37th episode overall. It originally aired on January 25th, 2006, so we are just 4 days out from the...
I think it's cool that we're
19th year anniversary, but yeah,
we're tracking sort of with, in the general time frame.
We're in that neighborhood.
Yeah.
So what'd you think about Fire and Water?
It was good. But Charlie stories are...
Can we rename Fire and Water to the saga of Morgan finally understands that Charlie sucks after Joe told her 2,000 times that he sucks? I'm telling you, all the red flags were there with Charlie. I mean, right from the beginning, they were always there. The red flags were there, and then they really come to bear in this episode.
Yeah, Charlie was way, way overstepping his bounds. But, he loves Aaron, and so he thinks Aaron is in danger.
Does he love Aaron? Well, we'll get into it.
Or does he need a thing to love?
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. Okay.
We'll get into it. So let's go ahead and start with the recap because we have 2 recaps to do. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So the long and short of it is we get some more backstory on Charlie and his drug-addicted brother, Liam. Is this the one where they're dressed like babies? They're doing like a
commercial.
Yeah, the weirdest commercial of all time. They're literally in diapers with bottles and bonnets and huge pacifiers, and they're doing a little jig, except for Liam, who's so high that he literally cannot function. So the producer's like, "Get rid of him or you're done." And then
I think the producer's British.
Well, I was going for that, and then it fell apart. I'm not very good at the accents. But Charlie's like, "That's my brother." And so then they, part ways or whatever. So Liam ends up coming to stay with Charlie. But we don't learn that until Charlie is in the hospital where his niece is being born, Megan. So Liam's daughter, who we saw when, right before Charlie went to Australia, where he got on the plane or whatever, and Liam's in his glasses with his button-up shirt, supposed to be letting you know, hey, this man's no longer on drugs. So Megan's born. Charlie goes back to his house, and Liam's literally passed out on the couch, and he's like, "Hey, idiot, your daughter was just born." And then we get a little flashback into Charlie's childhood, and he obviously was some kind of sage with music, very, very talented. And so his parents get him a piano, and his mom is write us some songs and save us, Charlie. And I guess they're poor.
Yeah.
And okay, because I was but yeah. So she's hoping that he's going to be a movie star, music,
like a rock star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rock star. That's what she's going for. And then that memory gets all warped, and Liam is back. He's grown, and he's in his baby outfit again, and he's like, "Save us, Charlie, save us." And then his mom is doing this weird "Save us, Charlie, save us," a weird robot thing.
Like the unicorns from Charlie. Save us, Charlie.
Save us.
Okay.
And then his dad is a butcher, and he goes "He ain't gonna save nobody in it," and he cuts a head off a baby doll. So that's that flashback. Mm-hmm. Oh, no, it's not. Freaking piece of shit Liam sells Charlie's piano, which is at that time his prized possession. He loved it. Charlie was writing he had a breakthrough. He was writing some beautiful song. They had this beautiful connection the night before. The next day Charlie goes home and his damn piano's gone, and Liam's "Yeah, I sold it because I gotta go to Australia and get a job and go to rehab because I have a baby now, and you wouldn't understand." I was
guy who pushed me to go to the hospital to see my baby. You wouldn't understand. Yeah.
I was it's no wonder that Charlie has got the issues that he's got, because geez, So back on the island, Charlie's having a full mental breakdown about Aaron. Mm-hmm. He dreams that Aaron, and I just can't deal with babies and children in mortal danger. So the scene of the cradle floating away and Aaron is like,
I think the first time
he's inside
Aaron's
the
in
piano.
yeah,
and the piano's floating away. So, like, that's the connection of, like, the things that Charlie deeply loves and cares about. The piano, the baby. They're all one, literally. And they're floating away, and he can't do anything about it. He can't save them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then when he's in that cradle floating away and Charlie's trying to swim out and he can't get him, it literally made me sick to my stomach. I cannot handle stuff like that.
I thought for sure she was going to have a nightmare about that tonight, about our daughter,
Oh, God.
being swept out to sea. I like that that's like a physical representation of lots of parents having intrusive thoughts. That you're just going to be having a normal day, maybe enjoying a nice cup of coffee, and then you go, hey, wouldn't it be wild if you were on top of a really tall building and your daughter ran off to peek over the edge and fell off? Wouldn't that be crazy? And then you just shudder and jump or whatever out of your skin and go like, hey, stupid, don't think about things like that. But apparently, I looked into that, and I was going to save this for the end, but like apparently the intrusive thoughts or like representations of things like Charlie is seeing or whatever, the theory from like evolutionists and biologists and stuff is that it's a self-preservation mechanism.
Yeah, you're like, what if this happens? What are you going to do if this happens?
It's literally just to remind you that the world is not safe. So it's like...
As if I don't already know that. I don't need that.
If you think about it, I mean, we're sitting on a lovely, very comfortable couch. It's new, right?
Yeah,
we got from
it's
our.
Really nice. We got it at Big Lots.
We got from our podcast money.
Yeah.
And,
got it at Big Lots. They're going out of business, and so the couch is really cheap.
Yeah, and so it doesn't feel cheap though.
No, it does not. It's luscious and pluscious.
It's very comfortable. And so the fact that we are sitting very comfortable in a very warm house with it being 10 degrees outside, and it's easy to forget how dangerous the world is. And so your body just goes like, hey, you still need to survive. So just in case, here's something to freak you out, right? So
don't need that.
There you go.
So, excuse me. I'm drinking a sleepy time tea and it's got me burping. So back on the island, Charlie he's in the dream where the cradle's floating out to sea, swims out, swims, comes back, he's got the baby is safe, and then he looks out on the beach and there's Claire and his mom dressed like Renaissance painting angels with like the halo and the the drippy kind of dresses and stuff.
I think they're meant to be
Catholic.
I think they're meant to be Mary and Mary Magdalene.
Whatever.
Yeah.
More of the Christ stuff.
Yeah,
coming.
exactly.
Yeah. And they go like, save the baby, Charlie. Save the baby. And then Hurley comes out dressed as Joseph. And he's like, dude, what are you doing? And then we snap back to reality. And it's the middle of the mother effing night. And here stands Charlie with real Aaron, like knee deep in the water. And Charlie has absolutely no idea how he got there. He doesn't know what's going on. He's like, no, he was out there, and I saved him. I saved the baby. Claire comes hauling ass across the beach. Took my baby. And Charlie's like, I don't really want to. I didn't mean this. Like, I'm sorry. She takes Aaron. Whack. Solid one. It was a good smack. So then, Charlie goes to Echo, I guess, because he's looking for some kind of sage, and him and John Locke are on the outs because of the whole heroin situation.
Well, yeah, and him suspecting that John Locke and Claire, for some reason, are hooking up.
I hate that story arc. I think that is so lame. John Locke's like 50 years older than Claire.
Yeah, they're not hooking up. They're not even...
Yeah, but they're insinuating.
No.
Yes,
nope,
they are.
Literally not. They are... You're meant to see that from Charlie's perspective, because you might notice the only time you ever see them portrayed like that is when it's from Charlie's perspective. So you don't see it separately, because when you see him just talking separately, it doesn't seem any kind of flirty or anything. It's just like Claire going, hey, thanks for the crib, and he's like, yep. And it's just not super flirty. I think it's because it's depicted that way. You were just dying to empathize with Charlie.
I
That's
don't want to
crazy.
because I was pissed off at Charlie this episode. But he, like, you know, he thinks Aaron is in literal mortal and immortal danger because he goes to Echo and he's like, hey, what the hell is happening? And Echo's like, your dreams are trying to tell you something. We should baptize the baby. And Charlie was like, I don't think Claire's religious. And he's like, whatever, we'll do it. So then Charlie's like, I don't think that Claire is going to trust me because I've been lying to her a lot. So, like, we got to figure something out. So he, like, the next night or the next couple of nights, starts a damn fire to create a diversion to go and get Aaron, steal him again so that Echo can baptize him. But he gets busted, and John Locke whoops that ass. Whoops that ass all up and down that beach.
Yeah.
So, and nobody helps Charlie up. Nobody is there for him. Not even Echo.
Well, yeah, because he's running around on a beach
With a
saying,
baby.
we got to save the baby. We got to save the baby.
See, he's British. Well, you did the Australian thing too.
Hurt the baby.
Yeah. Oh, also, Locke caught him with all the heroin and took it from him and locked it up in the gun armory, high up on the shelf. And what did Jack say, or was it Michael that was like, why don't you just destroy all that stuff? Not
Jack.
Michael. Jack. Yeah. Jack or Sawyer was like...
He says it in the next episode.
Yeah, why don't you destroy that stuff? And I can't remember what Locke said. He
said medicinal purposes.
That's what he said?
Yeah. And actually, I agree, because I was like, if you're on an island and you, for example, might need your leg chopped off because you're about to die or whatever, wouldn't it be awesome to die on heroin?
I bet Boone would have appreciated some heroin.
Yes, Boone would have greatly appreciated some heroin.
And the Marshal.
Yep, both of them.
Yep, give me a little bump.
The Marshal can he doesn't need heroin.
He was a dickweed.
The Marshal, at least Boone was trying to do something semi-heroic. The Marshal's just being a dick.
Yeah.
So before we get into the next episode, little tidbit about this. Apparently, after the show ended, LA Times ranked the Lost episodes from best to worst. Mm-hmm. This Fire and Water was ranked as the second to worst episode in the series.
It was not great. It really wasn't.
I am actually in disbelief because I can think of 2 episodes that are definitely worse than. And by the way, one of them is ranked as the worst. Which one? The other one I can't tell you. It's in season 3, I think. It's called Stranger in a Strange Land, and it is garbage. And then there's another one, which is, I mean, Lost is a fantastic show, but I think the writers really did have a lot on their plates. And there's an episode that they shoot, which is similar to if you remember the episode of Breaking Bad with the fly. Remember when Walt chases the fly?
Yes. Yeah. Worst episode ever. Literally just a filler. They were like, shit, we paid for X amount of episodes.
That is literally what those episodes are for. Right. And there's one on Lost where 2 characters get a backstory and you have no idea who they are. Like, the writing is so bad that on that episode, these 2 people, you're like, who are these people? Right? And they do a whole backstory, which is only kind of interesting, right? And you go, wow, this is bad, right? That's the worst episode of Lost. I don't know why they didn't put that one as the worst episode of Lost. So, to try to be charitable here, I want to put my English degree hat on for a second and try to remove my bias for a second because I hate Charlie. I think he sucks. But what, in the grand scheme of things, what does Charlie represent? What are the writers trying to do with him? You know, what's the greater point of Charlie? Because this episode was like somebody took therapist notes and threw them into ChatGPT and said, make an episode, right? And I mean, you've got this horrible thing of Charlie feeling like his family wants him to save them, and then he does spend a bunch of time saving his brother. who turns around and stabs him in the back.
Completely.
So
he's 360 that. He's 180'd it.
He's like doing what his family wants him to do, but then in doing so gets stabbed in the back and loses the thing he cherishes the most. Charlie loves music, but what's the connection? Because I thought the music was like this peaceful thing that helped him disconnect or whatever, but now it looks like he's doing it to make money to get his family out of a bad situation. So like, what is Charlie? What is the point?
I mean, he's just supposed to be like an addict, I guess, with like a sad backstory. I hope that he gets some sort of redemption arc at some point and overcomes, you know?
Yeah, there's a thing in Lost, which it's not going to really be a spoiler, I guess. It'll be a kind of a heads up, right? But like, it's obvious that there's something special going on this island. Like you can kind of tell. But also, all of the people are kind of special in their own way. And there are a couple that are special in a really distinct way. And Charlie's one of those people who's special in a really distinct way. And you'll learn about it before way too long. I don't know. I struggle because I kind of get, like, as bad as the writing was with Kate, I thought they really did a good job with the two dads and Sawyer and Jack. Like,
yeah,
that is clear but not too on the nose. Charlie, at this point, beginning to feel like they don't know what they're doing, kind of.
Yeah.
Because I think combining this and the next episode, it's like they did some stuff in the next episode, which we're going to talk about in a second, which I have no idea why they did. Like, truly.
Well, the next episode is called The Long Con, and that one's a Sawyer episode, and I was very happy.
Yeah.
To be watching a Sawyer episode. I think they're very interesting. I was so sad during this episode because I thought that Sawyer really loved that lady whose name I can't remember. Let me look at my notes. Cassidy, yes.
Yeah. Like Butch Cassidy, yeah.
Who's that?
Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid.
Oh,
like, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Anyway, so, you know, the episode opens with Sawyer pulling his con that he already has pulled, where he's got the briefcase and it's full of money and it accidentally opens. She pegs him immediately. And she's like, "Come on, you idiot. Like, are you serious?" And then he's like...
She picks up a set of the bills and she's like, "There's newspapers."
There's fake. Like, it's all... She immediately calls his ass. And he's like, "All right, well, bye." And she's like, "Well, wait. I wanna do it with you. We're gonna be Bonnie and Clyde." And he's like...
Or Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
Yeah. He's like, you can't do this. She's like, "Try me." So then they, like, peddle some fake jewelry. And they did work very well together. And then they, like, have a whole ass life. What they, like, 6 months or something like that, they're together. Mm-hmm. And she's got a framed picture in her house of them together. Like, I thought that Sawyer was for real and had for real feelings until the whole deal was she had gotten divorced and got a whole bunch of money, and he was supposed to get the money from her, like con her out of the money, and then leave. And then he has a change of heart and he tells her, like, "I can't do it. I can't do it." And then that his, like, accomplice or whatever is like, "If you don't get the money, I'm going to kill you and I'm going to kill her and I'm going to take the money." So then he goes to her house and he's like, "Cass, like, we got to get out right now because dude's out in the car right there. Look out the window. There's the car. He's in there and he's going to kill both of us if I don't give him the money. So take the bag with the money in it, go out the back door and leave, and I'll meet you at some random hotel in some different state. And she's like, okay. She hustles out the door. And then does somebody shoot her?
No.
No? Okay. I thought that when Sawyer's sitting in the car at the end, there's like a gunshot. Okay. So Sawyer ends up, he did give her fake bills, and he got all the money, and he left and got in the car and vamooshed. Which, God, how sick and sorry have you got to be? Like, it's bad enough to steal money from somebody, but to, like, emotionally manipulate somebody in such a way for money? Boo. Boo. You can be as pretty as you want, but if you're ugly on the inside, you're ugly all over. Sawyer's ugly all over in this situation.
So you think he didn't actually love her?
I don't know. I think he probably did have feelings because he looked awfully forlorn when he was sitting in the car.
I think there's good and bad in this episode. I'll get to what I think the bad is in this episode. But something that's good is that Sawyer definitely has a pattern. If he were on like a therapist's couch, I guarantee you a therapist calls this out. Anytime things start to get good for Sawyer, like when things start to improve,
he freaks out and sabotages it.
Well, he intentionally sabotages it, right? And Kate, despite being annoying, really does call it out pretty accurately. Yeah. It's like, you hate yourself and you want everybody to hate you too, right? Because you hate yourself. You don't think you deserve to be loved.
Which is odd. Like, I just don't.
Well,
I guess, thank God, I don't understand that level of self-loathing, but.
Yeah. No, of course you don't. Like, there's a thing with. It was so great because where I actually heard this last was Theo Vaughn, who said that it was surprisingly profound, where he was like, if you tell a kid that there's something wrong with them, right, they're not going to think that guy's a dick, right? They're going to think there's something wrong with me, right? And so Sawyer internalized all that stuff that happened whenever he was a kid, and so just started. He is from a broken unit, right? With a mom who cheated on his dad, and then the dad came home and murdered everybody, and it was like he's the offspring of those two people, right? So it's like he just internalized that and thinks that he's not worthy of being loved. So, like,
bless his heart,
and so anytime he starts to be loved, he wrecks it. And I mean, it's a pattern.
Makes me so sad.
But that's really the just in my opinion, why this show is called Lost. Like, these people are lost. And so Sawyer is lost in this pattern of, like, every time something's good, I gotta wreck it. Kate's lost in a pattern of every time something's good, I gotta run away from it, right? Like, Jack, it's not good enough for things to be peaceful. I gotta find something to fix. So really, right there, you've got three people, and Locke. I'm talking this out loud and just realizing it, right? Because Jack, when things are good, he's got to go find something new to fix. So he can't sit in peace, right?
Yeah.
Locke had this beautiful new life, right? And just couldn't leave well enough alone and had to go deal with Daddy, right? Like, crazy.
Yeah, it's super, super, super sad.
Yeah. So these are all people that can't tolerate peacetime.
Everybody's got their thing. Like, I don't think that you said everybody's special. I don't think that they're special. I think that they're...
Well, yeah. I meant a different thing.
Like, yeah, Walt is special, obviously, because he can make birds fly into windows. And
lots of people on the island are special in similar ways to Walt.
Oh, they got powers? I've not seen anybody have powers.
Yeah.
I have? Well, I mean, Hurley is like, the fun guy. I tell our youngest daughter that her superpower is that she can make people happy.
Hurley is bad luck, right?
Is he though?
Well, but that's just one of the mysteries in the show. But like,
No, I think Hurley is a self-fulfilling prophecy. He's a good dude and good things.
Locke has visions.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Mr. Echo has visions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot. But anyway, all that to say, I think Sawyer did love her, and that's why he did what he did. Because I think he could have... You're not going to convince me that dude he met with at the diner that he couldn't get out from under that guy. Like...
Of course he could. He's a slippery little snake.
Yeah,
he could do whatever he wanted.
He could have, right? I think that he did what he did because he did love Cassidy. And he...
They really did seem happy.
And he had to wreck it. Well, and it's like there is a thing for people with walls. Ask me how I know, which is difficult when you feel like somebody sees you for the first time. So it's like if you've been hiding behind a mask or a wall forever, specifically hiding, and then somebody sees you, and it is, you can do one of two things with that, right? And it feels like Sawyer did a thing that I didn't. So that's what I think is going on. I think he did love her.
Maybe so. It seemed pretty genuine. And they really were like a Bonnie and Clyde. Like, they had some good shit going with...
When he's alone in the house after she leaves...
He turns that picture down.
Yeah, out of shame. Mm-hmm. Like, shame on you, Sawyer, you disgusting... Anyway, so...
Sad
it was a good chat.
Yeah, it was. So all kinds of shit is going on the island. All kinds of shit. So Locke and Jack have decided that all the guns need to be in the armory with the heroin, period. And they are the only two people that get to know the combination, and no guns come or go without both of them present.
Yep.
It's like a fail safe where you got one key, somebody has one key and somebody has the other, and you have to turn them at the exact same time. Yeah, it's that kind of situation. And you know what? Like, it's been called out multiple times, but like, calm down, y'all. Like, you're not. Why do they get to decide that? Why do they get to? Just because they're stepping up and being leaders?
Well, it began by people giving Jack authority.
Well, yeah, because he's a doctor.
Because he's a doctor, right? So they were like, hey.
I'd be like,
I gotta tell you.
You're smarter than me, so you.
Hey, only doctor who's like moderately good looking and, you know, tall, dark, and handsome or whatever. Like, yep, you get to be one of the leaders. Hey, guy who was running around telling everybody what to do when everybody else was panicking. Mm-hmm. Yes, you're the leader.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, a clear voice in chaos is an automatic leader. So.
Yeah. And like, Jack finally takes that freaking key necklace off for the marshal's suitcase, and he all of it is in the armory. And there's like, it's a very kumbaya moment of like, we're on the same page. And then Sawyer and Charlie are together, and Sawyer's like, I guess we're the two motivated people on this island. And Charlie's all pissed off, and he says like, I don't know why you're talking shit when you need to be concerned about Jack. Excuse me. About Jack going through your tent. And Sawyer's like, what? And he takes off, and sure enough, there's Jack rummaging through, you know, all his little knickknacks and goodies. Sawyer's like, what are you doing? And Jack's like, oh, I'm just taking back all the stuff that you stole from us. And Sawyer's like, that's my stuff. You can't have it. And Jack's like, yes, I can. And he just walks off. And Sawyer doesn't do anything, but he does. He does do something. The evil seed has been planted, and the roots are starting to take place because he's about to long con all these people. He starts telling Kate, which I think is a weird ploy because Sawyer and Kate are like a thing.
Yeah, he uses that.
Yeah, but what? Okay, that would be like if you came up to me and said, you know, if there were some other person that held some level of interest for me, and you were like, he's not paying you any attention. Why would you tell me that? Why would you want
Because Sawyer's goal has become this new thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah. He doesn't give
And
a
he
shit
is-
about anything or anybody anymore.
And as I said in the last episode that we posted, like, he has a high EQ. Like, he understands people, you know. And so he knows that if he tells Kate certain things, she's going to do certain things.
Yeah.
It's kind of like if he wanted Kate to not follow him into the jungle.
He's going to tell her,
He's going to say,
you can't come, Freckles.
or if he wanted her to follow him into the jungle, he would say, "Don't you follow me, Freckles. You stay right here, right?
Yeah,
you
she's
stay.
coming.
Don't you dare follow me." She'll be right behind him.
Yeah, but
Not
that
even
doesn't
2 or
take
3
some
feet.
kind of con man super genius to figure out.
No, but it does take a con man to want to use that to push people to do what you need them to do to get your stuff done.
Boo.
Yeah.
Boo, boo. So he starts telling Kate, like, Jack and Ana Lucia sure are spending a lot of time together. And they are, because they're trying to build an army. So they got a lot of logistics to work out. So let's see. Hold on. There literally was so much. Ana Lucia is telling Jack that everybody feels too safe and
To join the army.
yeah, and so like there's they don't have any good reason to get up and fight because everything's cool or whatever, which like I get it, but it makes her look like a sneaky snake because Sun gets kidnapped while she's out working in her garden minding her own business. A black bag goes over that face and she gets drug off and she's screaming and Sawyer and Kate hear her come and find her and she's laid up underneath a tree with her face all bloody, all super jacked up. So they take her back to the camp. She's completely knocked out, like unconscious for a long time. So Jen is like, give me a gun. Give me the gun right now because I'm going to go find... Because they assume that the others did it.
Yep.
I thought it was Ana Lucia. I was like, oh my God, that evil bitch. Like, she did that to Sun because she doesn't care about her. She doesn't know her. It's not her people. And she is trying to, get her army going. And she is so cold. Like, so that's what happened. That's what I thought. But it was not. It was not her. I think it was one of the others. And so I can't remember exactly what happens. Her, in the midst of all this, Hurley finds a radio that Bernard and Rose had. And he's like, he takes it to Saeed and he's like, hey, don't you like this kind of stuff? I think you were working on one of these, weren't you? And Saeed's like, no, it's not going to work. No. And he's like super mean about it. So Hurley's like,
Just trying to cheer you
yeah,
up, dude.
all right, dude. Like, okay, well. And he walks off, but he leaves it there for Saeed. He's so nice. So, we end with that. We end with, like, Saeed seeing
Yeah.
the little radio. Is so nice. Let's see. Let me look at my notes. Let's see. Sorry. Technical difficulties.
So basically, the reason the notes are confusing is because the con's confusing. It's meant to
Yeah.
be. Right.
I had a hard time. Like, again, this was a thing where, for me, the exposition is necessary. Because I'm not good with all these big swirling moving parts.
Yeah, she basically needs Kate. Sawyer needs Kate to go to Jack. Okay? Mm-hmm. Because if they know that Jack and Locke have the codes. All right? Now, Sawyer knows how to manipulate Locke. Because Locke's going to listen to Sawyer. Right?
Yeah,
Jack,
Locke is like only calling him James.
But the point is that Jack won't. So Sawyer knows if I have to manipulate both these dudes that have the code, I've got a better shot at manipulating Locke, right? So I need Kate to go to Jack, no problem. I'm gonna make her jealous for a second, so she's gonna pick to go to Jack, right? And then she's gonna send me to Locke.
Mm-hmm.
So then Jack goes to Locke, and Locke is
Locke's moved the guns.
Locke's
and
no,
Jack's
not
like,
yet, because Sawyer goes to Locke and goes, "Hey, Jack's coming for those guns, dude. Right? Like, he's gonna come and he's gonna go after the dudes in the forest or whatever that took Son. Nothing you can do about it because he's bringing everybody down here." And Locke's like, "Oh my god!" Right? He said, "Will you help me move them?" And Sawyer's like, "Yeah, well, I mean, I'll watch your button, I guess, but like."
Yeah.
And now,
so they like immediately broke the little treaty that they just made like that day.
it's important to the story that Locke. First of all, when Son is kidnapped, Kate and Sawyer are together, so she won't suspect Sawyer because she's with Sawyer, right? When Locke is about to move the guns, Sawyer's like, "Cool, I'll stay here in the hatch and press this button," right? Now, he knows that Locke knows that he'll know that the button's pressed because it won't have rolled over to 0. So Sawyer has an alibi. And nobody thinks anybody would be working with Sawyer because nobody likes him. You know? Like, I'll get to that in a minute. But so that's the con, basically. And then because nobody knows about it and Locke is running the guns out, all Charlie has to do is follow Locke, who's carrying the guns. And Locke is preoccupied with trying to carry the guns to worry about somebody following him. Because Locke normally knows when somebody's nearby. But he's worried about these guns. And when you're worried about something, it's all you can focus on. So Locke runs away with the guns, hides them. Charlie takes them, hides them in a different place. So they don't even have to get the combination to the guns. They just manipulate those guys into carrying them out.
Yes. And then Sawyer comes out straight hillbilly style, bah, 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 shooting up into the sky. And he's
after they're accusing each other on the beach.
Yeah. He's like, "There's a new sheriff in town." And Jack's like, "What the hell, Locke?" And Locke's like, "What the hell? You were going to come. We weren't supposed to open the thing, and you were going to come and open it without me there." And then Jack's like, "So you opened it without me there?" And then they're like two married people like, meh, 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 meh. Unfortunately, the person who assaulted Son, Charlie's got 0 for 2 going on in these 2 episodes. A total dickweed. But he did say, like, "I didn't mean for her to get hurt." Like, he was just trying to scare her. And he just, was trying to drag her off with the bag on her head. And then she freaked out. Don't know why she did that. Took off running and fell and hit her head. Like, she wasn't supposed to be seriously injured.
Yeah. And I want to recap the closing scene because I think it's so funny. I'm not normally doing the recap, but it's so funny to me that Saeed comes back to Hurley and he's like, "Hey, I did something with your radio or whatever," and he puts it up, and they end up picking up Moonlight Sonata.
Moonlight Serenade. It's not the Moonlight Sonata.
And it's by Glenn Miller, and
it's so cute.
But it's so funny because Hurley's like, "Oh, that could be somewhere close," and Saeed goes, "Well, it could bounce off the ionosphere. It could be from anywhere." And then Hurley goes,
Or any time.
And
he goes, "Just kidding."
And they look at each other, and you think that's going to be like the end, like the lost cut off. So you're like, "Are we time traveling?" And then Hurley goes, "Just kidding, dude." Right? Which I thought was a cute wink from the writers to the people watching the show.
Yeah.
Just like, "Oh, no, come on."
And Charlie admitted that he helped Sawyer with all that shit solely because he wanted to humiliate Locke. He wanted to make Locke look like a fool. And I was like, "Oh, cold-blooded."
And I gotta tell you, in this episode, Locke is a fool. Because, like, he just takes Sawyer's word for it. Like...
Yeah, the, like, known butthole on the island, and you're gonna go, like...
Also, he has prevented Jack from doing stuff before.
Yeah.
Like, you're just going to take Sawyer's word for it? Mm-hmm. But my problem with this episode is that on its surface, they have Sawyer suddenly at odds with everybody for no reason.
I mean, he's pissed off that Jack took his medicine.
No, I know. But why? as the writers, why do you do that? I remember when I first watched this episode, I was like, man, why did they suddenly decide, like, Sawyer's going to do
be an actual jackass
like
to literally everybody
and take the guns
and put everybody in danger.
But then under further inspection, it's because things were starting to get better for him. Like when he went off with Michael and he made friends with Michael or whatever, and he can understand
and
Jen
and Kate
and he's starting to get happy,
mm-hmm.
right?
And his little throughout since the raft. We have found Sawyer many times just posted up outside his tent with a book, like just hanging out, having a great time for his
stranded on an island.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess you're right, but
so it's literally because things were going well, and Sawyer doesn't think things are allowed to go well for him. So he starts subverting that, and that's our pattern for Sawyer.
Poor Sawyer.
I know, poor Sawyer.
I do feel bad for him. I really do.
Yeah, he. Oh, that's funny. The hatch.
Yeah, I'm trying to turn on our daughter's nightlight, and the app is called Hatch.
I saw this meme, which I sent Morgan from forever ago. I had seen it before, but now that she's seen it and knows what it's about, it's Locke with some like wireframe glasses drawn on him.
Hipster glasses.
Like hipster style glasses, and it said, "You probably never heard of the hatch. It's so underground." So good.
Such a good joke.
Anyway, so Long Con, I think a really good episode.
I thought it was great. Once at the end, when they explained everything, they explained their motivations. They explained who did what to Sun. They wrote it all out about how they pulled the whole con. Love that. It's so good. Don't make me sit around and go like, wait a minute.
So there are 110 episodes of Lost. Long Con is ranked 105 by LA Times.
I really liked it.
I thought it was pretty good.
What's the number 1 episode?
Oh, it's going to be the pilot, probably. Hold on.
Really?
Let me look.
I watched the pilot 4 times before I got into this show.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
Oh, I can't.
Yeah. Walkabout's up there, though. Walkabout's in the top 5.
Episode.
No, there's a very good episode. How did I forget? I can tell you
What's
that
it called?
It's called The Constant. And you'll have no context for that, but like it's called The Constant, ranked number 1. Yeah, of course it is. Why did I not think of that? It is a fantastic.
What
episode.
Season is it in?
I think it's 3.
Oh, good.
Yeah, season 3 is full of great stuff. Season 3 is the one that has a moment in it where they want you to be videotaped, like watching the moment. So
okay.
Yeah, season 3 is awesome, and actually there's a pretty predominant feeling amongst Losties. Maybe you guys can confirm or deny, but it's like season 1 through season 3 is one show, and season 4 through season 6 is a different show.
Well, that's what I feel like they did with The Walking Dead, and they absolutely
yeah, you're right,
dug the grave and kept digging, and then buried that show, and it rotted in the ground. It was horrible.
Unlike the walkers on the show, who did not rot on the ground but walked around on the earth.
They did rot though,
but not in the ground.
No.
So Lost does not do that.
Okay,
so
good.
It's good all the way through. I do think, unfortunately, season 3 is the best season. So you've got like.
And there's how many? 5?
6.
Okay.
One of them's short though. I think it's 4. Yeah, because 4 was during the writer's strike. It's the same. I guess it would have been on the same year as season 4 of The Office, which was also a short season. Yeah, I really wish I could tell you, because each of the seasons has a theme, and I literally can't tell you the theme of the 4th season because it won't. I can actually tell you the themes of all the season except the 4th season, and it won't spoil the series for you. So, like, season 1 is The Island. Season 2, The Hatch. Season 3, The Others. Season 4, Season 5, the Dharma Initiative. Season 6, the Smoke Monster. So,
okay.
It's every... I gotta chill, actually, thinking about Season 6. There's some good stuff in Season 6, too. Like, Season 3 is just really good for the whole season. I disagree with that one. There's Stranger in a Strange Land sucks, but, like, there's a lot of episodes in Season 3, and most of them are really, really good.
Do we have to watch it if it sucks?
Yeah. There's a plot point in there, but...
Okay, well...
I'm gonna do... We're coming to the end of this episode. We're not going to predict because she's seen the next couple episodes. But I do want to say that my favorite character in all of Lost, Morgan has now met through watching the show. And I could not be more excited that we are finally here from getting through these episodes.
It's picking up.
Henry Gale. So, I mean... We're coming to my time on this show. I'm so excited. Do you know how hard it is to know what's coming around Henry Gale and have to like take the time to record episodes because I want to get to the one where we're going to be recording Morgan.
I don't know what to make of Henry Gale. I don't know what to make of that man.
One of the best written characters in the history of television.
I know, he makes me feel very icky. He makes me feel like the inside of a mousetrap.
Good. And Michael Emerson, who portrays him, Michael Emerson will never see this, right? But, like, if Michael Emerson does ever see this, I mean, Michael Emerson as Henry Gale and... Bryan Cranston as Walter White are the two greatest character portrayals in the history of television. Like, and it blows my mind that Michael Emerson was only scheduled to be on Lost for like 2 episodes, and he got on the show and they're like, we gotta fix this, right? You gotta be on here all the time, right? And they were right. Just wait till season 3. Ooh, I can't wait. So. That's it for this episode because we're not going to have her predict, but we need to quickly go over our messages in a bottle. Not a ton from last time, but good quality. So let's get to messages in a bottle, which is literally my favorite.
Oh, yeah, I love it. It makes me feel super validated.
It really does. And I actually really
I swear to God, if it weren't for y'all doing messages in a bottle and like interacting with us, we would so quit this.
Absolutely. If we
would just binge, we would finish Lost in like 2-3 days.
If we ever get to the point where like the views and the comments drop off, like we'll drop off too. Yeah, just for that, like, I have to be honest with
Greg,
you.
Greg, we'll call you. Like
we'll just. So, all right, Daniel Shepard. My favorite moment, Morgan sips coffee. Sorry, my throat's dry, Joe, because coffee will help. Just me being snarky.
Man, you guys are killing it with the screen grabs.
Absolutely. Oh, I think it was painted last time, actually. Looking at the... Wait, so we must have done it the night that we painted and then figured out about the couch. Like...
We just got the couch.
Yeah.
And the painting has happened in sections.
Madness. Yeah. I said, Daniel, I wondered if that comment might get lost. Glad you caught it. Greg says, Echo, an amazing character as he constantly subverts our expectations. No one could have possibly guessed he was a notorious drug dealer, but on your first rewatch, you will see the signs that were there.
I knew something was up with him because I knew something was up with him. I would not have guessed he was a drug dealer. But the way he, like, quickly and efficiently murdered those two dudes with that rock or whatever.
Not as efficiently as those 2 dudes who said he didn't have a soul.
Yeah.
Boring fun fact. The drug dealer with the gold tooth is referred to by Losties as Goldie. Okay.
Good name.
Yep. Everyone misses it on their first watch. When Echo stares down the monster, many images from his past are visible. Actually, Morgan called that out whenever it was happening. So she was
said
like,
that it looked like there was something in the smoke, but obviously I didn't know it was freaking still frames of his life. Like, I never would have caught that. But I thought it was like lightning. So I was thinking like, okay, so the smoke monster is like electric. It's like an electric monster because it's got like neurons firing in there.
Nah. Morgan, how can you not care about... Oh, I skipped a bit. Sorry. It was actually reading his mind, so now we know what it was doing when it did the same thing to Locke and Kate when she was in the banyan tree in the previous season.
Okay.
Morgan, how can you not care about Jack's backstory and what shaped him to be the, let's face it, annoying way he is? LOL.
Because I don't know.
Did you notice Charlie had 8 Virgin Mary statues in his stash?
I did not count them. Oh, you know what? I didn't mention it, but in the long con, Sawyer tries to give him one of the statues and chucks it out into the ocean. Yay, good for you, Charlie. Yay.
Yeah.
But no, I did not. What's the significance? Oh, it's one of the numbers.
Yes. This is actually the first full appearance of the smoke monster. Previously, we'd only seen flashes or reflections
of it. It's big. It's a big boy.
Joe, excellent point about the getting laid bit. Read Jack remembering Ana Lucia's drink order, but no pun intended. Don't forget, he has an eidetic memory, a power he displays several times throughout the series.
What is an eidetic memory?
Like photographic memory.
Oh.
So, fair point. Jack is actually hated, even till this day, by a portion of the Lost fan base, but I agree with you, Joe. I identify with Jack more than I used to care to admit. Let's face it, he's annoying and almost comically stubborn, but I've long theorized that the reason he grates with so many is because whether we want to admit it or not, many of us see the traits we don't like about ourselves in him. Joe, I agree with everything you said about Jack's hypocrisy, but one way I've made some peace with what he does here after all my rewatches is that it's quite clear the reason he does the very thing he accuses Kate of is because he's already fallen in love with her and he feels an overwhelming urge to protect her, especially after what they almost did to her. So there's an element of revenge/justice too. That's why he goes to Ana Lucia to build an army. Ugh, how lame. And not Kate, who is one of the toughest people on the island. And just to round it out, Kira's back. Kira Gordon, welcome back. Kira says, best one yet. Great analysis.
Thank you.
Yeah, Jack being, we definitely can see some of ourselves in all the characters, but sure. Jack, I think I agree with you. We do see ourselves. I see a lot of myself in Jack. Like, Jack and I vibe. Like that, I shamelessly identify with Jack because I think Jack is the only person with a freaking brain in his head on this island. Like, it is crazy to me the stuff that people do on this island, not knowing what's going on. I'm like, why aren't we listening to the one person with a brain who's been right about basically everything so far?
Because he ain't my daddy.
Because he's not fun. That's why.
He's not fun.
Right?
Not at all. He barely smiles.
I am the living embodiment of the Kermit drinking the cup of tea, though. As Morgan will tell you, I am right an annoyingly alarming amount of time. Like,
he is. I hate it. Oh, it feels like poison coming out of my mouth to even admit it out loud to you guys. But yeah, he is right.
I'm right so often that my actual wife is sitting next to me saying to a group of strangers on the internet that I'm right. Like, I
hate it. Everybody hates it.
Think about, and it's not just her.
Everybody hates it.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's not truly, to not be funny for a second, the reason is it's not special, right? It's just the most obvious thing. So like in philosophy, it's called Occam's razor, where it's like the simplest explanation is the explanation. That's it, right? And that's what Jack goes for. Jack is like, we heard a smoke monster in this place. We shouldn't go to this place. That's where the smoke monster is. And Locke's like, fuck that. I'm getting sucked down a hole or whatever.
I think that thing's God.
Yeah, I think that thing's God. And then he just dives into the hole, right? Like, it's insane. And so I identify with Jack because he seems rational and normal, right? So I agree with you, but I think the great thing about Lost, there's so many characters, you're going to see a little bit of yourself in lots of people. Mm-hmm. And I agree. I get the whole, like, without pretending like I'm on my own therapist couch, I get Sawyer's thing of, like, stuff's good, so let's wreck it or whatever. I did that when I was younger a lot, and a lot younger. I'd say like late teens and stuff. Like, and Kate running away from stuff. Like, who hasn't run away from something and can't empathize with it a little bit? So I agree totally. Like, that's why we tend to hate characters. That's why you can hate anything. Really, it's just projection. It's like, ugh. There's that part of me I don't like walking around on TV right now. But yeah, really, really good, guys. Thank you. So we watched the next 2 episodes too. So we're going to try to expedite a little bit. My goal is for us to get another episode up inside of a week. Because
Yes.
we've been, for
We
sure.
owe you guys.
We owe you.
We're very sorry.
We owe you. But thank you so much. And we'll look forward to speaking to you again. And until next time, we'll see you in another life.